Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, should NASCAR get rid of the waiver system? That actually did not realize that it was going to be such a hot button topic as it was on XM NASCAR Satellite Radio today, March 6th, with the news coming down Thursday of Chase Elliott breaking his leg snowboarding and having 3 hours of surgery, being out undisclosed amount of time. We obviously don't know yet. A lot going on to determine when that'll happen. I'm hearing people saying 4 to 5 weeks. If it's a similar injury to what Kyle Busch had, Kyle Busch was out of the car for 11 races. It's going to be somewhere in there. I know I did a prediction about it, my thoughts on the subject, and I think I said through June 4th, I said 3 months. So that's 12 weeks, so I mean, give or take. He could be back before the 600, but it's almost like if you come back for the All-Star race, which is, what, the 21st-ish of May, if you're back before that, great. Would you really want to come back for the All-Star race and then go to the 600? I mean, maybe wait till after the 600, but should he get a waiver or should he not? NASCAR has not declined any waivers except for one that I know of, Spencer Gallagher. Someone brought that up to Kelly Crandall, who was on Speedway with Dave Moody tonight. I thought Spencer Gallagher was suspended indefinitely, so I would explain why he didn't get a waiver. There was people calling in saying this, that, and the other on Speedway tonight. My opinion, we either need to make a rule, we get rid of it and go with consequences, or we keep it and go with consequences. Here's the thing. I don't think it matters if you get hurt if you're on an ATV in California, if you're on a snowboard in Colorado. It doesn't matter. These drivers have to live their life. And I said this when I called in the Moody's show. These drivers have to live their life. For me, doing my videos on YouTube, watching NASCAR, watching pro wrestling is my relaxation. I work all day for a telecommunications company. Sit at a desk all day. I need to relax. These are the way I relax. Sit down with my wife and take my dog for a walk. These drivers, their job is to drive race cars 200 mile an hour every week. They're good at their job. Kevin Harvick, for instance, 750 consecutive starts. So for 36 races a year, including all-star races and duels and et cetera, he strapped into that car, did his job, went home. Now, when they're not on TV for practice or qualifying or the race, they have sponsor places they have to be. They have things they have to do for their sponsor. So they have things they have to do outside of that we don't see. That the behind-the-scenes show that they had on Peacock last year, they give us a small insight of it. But yeah, they take their kids to school like you and I do. They do that kind of stuff too, but they also got to work out. They also got to study, work hard during the week. They got to know, hey, sim time. They got to go do this, that, and the other. If they do something, snowboarding for instance, relaxation, and they get hurt, things happen. He could have fell. So I look at it this way. People losing their mind because of what he was doing. If it would have came out that he was running down the street to save his dog from getting hit by a car, when he grabbed his dog, the car clipped him, he fell in a ditch and broke his leg. Would we be having the same discussion about should he or shouldn't he get a waiver? It doesn't matter what he was doing. I think he should get a waiver and move on. That is what NASCAR does. NASCAR gives waivers for things like that. Now, if we want to get rid of the waiver system, and Moody talked about this as well, we don't need that. Get rid of it. So basically, you win a race, you're in the playoffs. So people are like, well, if Kimi Räikkönen won one race, he was in one race, he'd be in the playoffs. Would he? Because here's the thing, though. Here's how it should work. Just again, my opinion, throwing it out there, just an idea. If you win, you're in. Period. If we have more than 16 different winners, you're in the playoffs. So we have 18 different regular season winners. You have 18 playoff spots. Round 2 has 12. So 6 gets eliminated at the first race. If we don't have a 16 different winners, then you add it with points up to 16. I don't think there's a way to do this without people losing their mind. Think about the old people like to do this. The old Winston Cup days, you know, back in 2003 when we had the Winston Cup points. And you know, we could get this points for this points for this. People want that now, 20 years ago. So back in the Winston Cup day, you got hurt and you missed the race. There were drivers back then that didn't care. Darrell Walter broke his leg in an accident. Pins and all in his leg. Throws a fire suit over it, crawls in the car, goes out, starts the race, comes in. They pull him out of the car, put a relief driver in. The relief driver finishes wherever. He gets the points for it. Ricky Rudd taped his eyes open so he could go race. We don't want that anymore. We don't need that these days. That's why the idea of the waiver came. You had Dale Earnhardt Jr. running for a championship. Went, you know what? I don't feel right. I'm not safe out there. I'm getting out of the car. That could have been the year he won a championship. He made a decision to get out of the car. That decision made it better for people like Kurt Busch, people like Alex Bowman last year to go, you know what, I'm not right, I'm getting out of the car. What would have happened if Junior would have done it and just dealt with it like drivers did back in the day? Richard Petty drove with a broken neck. These drivers at one point in time did not, I'm not hurt, I'm good. I can't lose my ride. I'm not going to sit home and watch my car go around the track. Dale Jr. brought it to forefront. You don't have to do that. I think, regardless of what anybody else thinks, with the charter system we have, we need the waiver system. Because the charter system says you have to attempt to qualify for every single race. Obviously, if he's in a hospital in Colorado and the race is in Las Vegas, he can't attempt to qualify. So to make him eligible for the playoffs, you have to qualify for every race, or you get a waiver to fill in the difference. 2015, Kyle Busch got a waiver for the first 12 races he missed. Then he was told, okay, here's what you need to do. Either you need to win a race and be in the top 30 in points, and you're in the playoffs. He did that. He went on to win the championship. Yes, you can look back on videos. I was one of the people going, this is bullshit, this is crap. Looking back on it, he didn't do anything wrong. Those are the rules. Same way with Chase Elliott. Say he misses 7 races. He gets in, the NASCAR grants him the waiver. He wins the race. The top 30 rule is no longer there, so you can finish 32nd in points, and with a win, you're in the playoffs. Last year, 32 drivers made all 36 starts. 32nd in points had 305 points. So say Jimmy Johnson goes out and wins 2 races. No, say he goes out there and he's in 6 races this year and he wins 5 of them. He'll have 340 points-ish, 320. He won a race. He's going to be higher than that last person in points. Why wouldn't he be in the playoffs? When he made that point. Because if somebody goes out and makes 4 starts, they're not going to be high enough in points to really do anything. So, I think what they need to do, plain and simple, if we get rid of the waiver system, I can live with that. Make it fair for everyone. So grant Chase the waiver and say, okay, from this point forward, we're no longer going to do this. But if you miss races, you don't make the playoffs. Plain and simple. You have to qualify for each race. Because I don't think it'd be fair if they get rid of that rule altogether. You win, you're in, and you have Jimmy Johnson, for instance. You have Jimmy Johnson go out there and make 10 starts. He has 2 wins. He's in the playoffs. But yet, 16 other drivers went out there every single week, accumulated points, just because their team isn't as good as Legacy Motor Club, or they're not to the level of a Jimmy Johnson, that they can't be in the playoffs because this part-time driver is. No. Either all or none. Either you get rid of them and you take the consequences, so we would have the 2023 playoffs without Chase Elliott. If we can stomach that, get rid of the waivers. If we can't stomach that, keep the waivers, in my opinion. All right. Should we or should we not get rid of the waivers? I say no. Leave it alone. It's not hurting nothing. It is not like it happens every single year. It's not like every person that's ever gotten a waiver went on to win the championship. One. There's been like 8 waivers granted. That's not a big story. Anyway, that's my opinion. As always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.